What is going on, YouTube fitness family? It is a big day for me. I got the legend, Simeon Panda. This is a dude I've been following for so long. For me to be standing next to him doing a video with him for a full back workout for you guys is a pretty surreal moment for me. I'm not gonna lie, not to glaze this guy up super hard,
you, man.
but like he is definitely the modicum of consistency, like being this most aesthetic dude on the planet. So
cheers, man.
Super excited to have you here. You excited to train some back, bro?
Oh, 100%, man. 100%. Ready for a dope session, man. I'm gonna let you lead today as well.
All right.
Which I normally like, you know, I normally get stuck in and I just normally lead the sessions, but I'm happy to see what's good today, man.
It's a fucking honor, bro. Let's fucking get it.
Dope. Let's do it.
All right, so we're gonna start with a
straight in.
Straight in.
Straight in heavy.
Well, I mean,
oh, it's not heavy for you, so that's why we're there.
I didn't want to say it. But yeah, so we're gonna start with a little bit of like a potentiation set. It's getting really good blood flow in the tissue. So the biggest points of emphasis on these is the big ass stretch at the top to open up the lat.
Yeah.
I think that's one thing that a lot of people don't understand is that they want to stop here with their pull downs and just be here, just to try to like keep it locked into the lat. But really they've shown that the most hypertrophy you can get is actually in that stretch position, really opening up that lat.
Yeah.
And I'll show you kind of how I keep the tension even as I stretch. So I don't let the arm go completely straight. As I go, I stick the head through and I let the basically lat stretch without losing tension. So I'm gonna go for like 12 to 15 here.
Okay.
And the second biggest thing is just like holding onto that eccentric. So I'm gonna really retract the scap, push the chest up towards the ceiling. So I'm not necessarily leaning. People make the mistake of leaning back and pulling here. What we're gonna do is instead of leaning, we're gonna arch the back, retract the scaps and push the chest up towards the ceiling. And just like really get some good blood flow in the lats. And as you see on my stretch, you see how I almost like turtle shell it. So I don't lose tension in the lats, so I'm not here. I keep that tension even the stretch. I almost let it pull me out of the seat. Drive through, squeeze.
So would this be your typical tempo?
This is pretty close to, I sometimes get a little more explosive with the concentric, so as I drive down. So as we get a little later, when I get heavier, I'll probably take the concentric a little bit faster, use a little bit more, not momentum, but a little bit more explosive movement. But since this weight is so manageable for me, I just want to really consciously pull down all the way through my lats, through my spinal erectors.
And is this a style that you adopted, or is it you've done this from the beginning?
This is definitely a style that I've adopted over time. I mean, I played football through college, so it was a lot more explosive training, a lot more athletic training. Whereas since kind of becoming a little more bodybuilding focused and longevity focused, this has become now more my norm. So my whole mentality on training is like no wasted sets in the sense of we're only here for a finite amount of time. And I don't want to spend like 60% of my workout being like warm up or potentiation sets for a super heavy top set. I try to like get not at failure, but close to failure with maybe 50 to 60% of my sets.
Okay.
So the biggest thing too, when you get to the bottom, squeeze and then release with the lats. So you're kind of letting it up. This part of the negative is the most important, that first 4 inches from the bottom of the rep. So there, big stretch, stick the head through at the top. So slow, stick the head through, and then come through. So at the top of the rep, push the head through to get even more stretch. Feel that? And then you can dig back. So the body's gonna slightly lean forward, then lean back. How'd that first set feel?
Yeah, good. Nice stretch, man.
Yeah, the only cue, like everything is perfect. Two things is from when you get to the bottom, that first 3 to 4 inches from peak contraction up to about here is actually the most important part of the negative. So here, for the lats specifically, from here to about here. So I challenge you to just hit it, and then from here, and then you can accelerate it a little bit. Big stretch. The other thing is push the head through the top of the rep. What that's gonna do is actually open up the lats even more, and then you can pull the chest open. So it's almost like you're leaning into it and then just slight lean back on the pull. All right, we'll go like first working set here, 12 to 15.
So how many sets would you normally do?
Of this, we'll probably go 4 working sets.
Now, is that a typical range for most of the exercises?
Most of that, yeah. 3 to 4. On our like isolateral movements, we'll probably just go 3. So, have you ever used this one?
Yeah.
That's nice. So we're gonna go a slight.
Love those grips.
Yeah, so we're gonna go a slight supination with being slightly supinated on these grips helps us get a little bit more scapular retraction and a little bit more lat bias, as opposed to if we go overhand, we get a little bit more mid-back, rhomboids, even rear delt. So this second and last 2 sets, what we're gonna do is drive 6 to 8, nice and controlled, and then I'm gonna just hit 6, 8, 10, depending where my energy levels are, for a little bit more explosive reps. So it kind of gets the best of both worlds. The kind of really acute training of super time under tension, compounded with a little bit more explosive, fast twitch movement. Oh, fucking shit. All right, I'm gonna challenge you. I'm gonna count your negatives for the first 6. 4-second negative. So concentric could be fast, but 4 on the up, 4 on the way up. So up, 2, 3, 4, explode down. Up, 2, 3, 4, 3 more like that. Beautiful fucking reps, let's go. Up, 2, 3, 4, go. 2 more like that. Up, 2, 3, 4, last one like that. Up, 2, 3, 4, send it. Go. Big back, 2. You got 10, 3, 4, come on, Simeon. 5, 6, big burn, go. 7, 8, 2 more. 9, fucking money set, dude.
Hey. So how many years you got invested so far?
In training?
Yeah.
So when I was 11, so 21 years.
Oh, snap. Well, almost. Yeah. I'm about 20, 22, 23.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Pretty similar.
Yeah, sick.
But I think that's one of the biggest things that people have to remember.
Yeah.
Is like, people see my type of training and be like, oh, too slow, too much volume, whatever. When you've trained as long as we have, you have to push yourself in different ways. I can't just do, like, I can't just step up to this and go like, all right, here we go. Ready, 1, 2, like, I'll literally be the same year after year after year because I'm not pushing myself. Yeah. So instead of being like, let me do 300 pounds, I'm like, okay, how can I make 220, 200, 240 harder? And that's by throwing on some tempo, maximizing my range of motion. And also, if I train like this in these lengthened positions, my body just tends to be so much healthier. I don't have any elbow, shoulder, knees, low back anymore since I started training like this because I'm focusing more on stimulus to fatigue ratio, meaning how much stimulus can I drive with the least amount of risk of injury, built up CNS fatigue.
In terms of when people say, oh, it's too slow, it's too this, everyone's gonna have different styles of training. And like you just said, 21 years of varying styles, and as well, I've got the 22 years of a different style, but it's gonna be what you can keep up, what you enjoy, what, 100%. You know, because that's gonna be the consistency part, what you actually enjoy in doing, and a method that keeps you engaged as well.
I think it's just like where you're at with your journey too.
Of course.
I think Sam Solik, for example, trains the way he enjoys, and he'd be fucking bored to tears if he did every single session the way I do it. But maybe in 10 years he'll think differently, you know what I mean?
That's true, that's very true. I had a different style when I was younger. Of
course.
I was very violent with my training, you know, but I friggin' thrived off that. And I needed that to build that foundation, you know. It gave me a zeal and energy back then that, you know, I'm more chilled out now with. And obviously I've passed a certain age where, although I never ever had any injuries, luckily,
which is incredible.
I'm at an age where they can now really happen. You know, I'm warming up more. I never used to warm up at all, you know, so yeah.
You've never had any injuries lifting wise? That's crazy.
Well, I had one now. That's the thing. In the whole years, I didn't have any. And then 3 years ago, while squatting a heavy weight, I was on an uneven floor and I messed up my lower back. Other than that, I was home free. Not a single injury.
Fucking floor, man.
Here we go. Dope. Good set, good set, good set.
Up, 2, 3, 4, drive. Up, 2, 3, 4. Up, 2, 3, 4. 3 more. Up, 2, 3, 4. 2 more. Up, 2, 3, 4. Up, 2, 3, 4. Lock in, drive. Send it. 1, 2, 3. Come on. 4, 5. You don't need me. 6. Big back. 7. 3 more. 8. 2. Come on. 9. 10. Money. Break up the CNS sacks with some pullovers. So the way I do pullovers just a little differently. So what I'm going to do is hip hinge more. I'm going to step back more. What I want to do is match that vector of force, meaning that positioning of the cable, with the angle of my upper body from the hip. So a lot of people do pullovers here and almost like stand up. Try to stand up completely straight, but you're losing all that stretch. Now watch the difference here. When I set myself back, see how much stretch my fucking lats are completely opened up. So what I'm gonna do is match that vector force, still keep good postural integrity, meaning lower back, nice arch chest is open, but I wanna back up enough that I don't risk hitting that stack when I stretch. Oh, fuck. Whew. So, as you saw, too, I maintained about 100, this is 180 degrees. I maintained about 160, 150 degree angle and kept it bowed. Like this, almost like here. That's, see how your elbows are dropping? What I want to see is more turtle shell so that you can pick the elbows up a little bit. You see how your lats immediately turn on? So I want you to keep, that's beautiful. Yeah. Really nice. It's really good stuff. Shooting for 8 to 12 here.
Hey.
So last set we're gonna do here is we're gonna hit a little bit of that same structure as the first set. I'm gonna take as many as I can with that really good negative. I'm gonna fire through 6 to 8 kind of slightly more explosive reps. What I really loved about that set you just did, you really like sat in that stretch position, but your lats were still on. Like you were in that stretch, and before digging in that next rep, you fucking like sat in that stretch and lived in it for a second. So good, dude. Because that's where you're gonna get a lot of that growth, is in that actually stretch position. One more slow, come on, come on, come on, come on.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
I got more. I got more.
Fantastic.
Let's go. Ow, it burns so bad. Good. Really good tempo. Good, feel those lats fucking tearing off the bone. Let's go. Let's go, send it. Come on, more. More. Hell yeah. Woo! One thing I'll say is, regardless of how perfect your form is or what specific exercise you're doing, you can't fucking cheat intensity like that. His set, my set. Regardless if your form is like, ooh, it's so perfect and like, ooh, peak contraction, it's like, great. I teach all that stuff. But if you don't fucking show up and train hard, we're fucking sweating already. 2 exercises in, pump's crazy. So that's not from form being like literally down to the granular perfect. It's important, but training intensity, I think, is within reason going to be the most important factor. Like if you show up and you train hard and you progressively overload in some capacity, where that means going slower, using a little more weight, increasing range of motion, you will get better, you will get stronger, you will build muscle.
100%.
I don't know if you agree with that or not.
No, 100% agree with that. I was saying to you, like when I first started, when I said it was violent, it was violent. But obviously it was within a threshold that was safe.
Yeah.
You know, and yes, definitely intensity kind of does trump everything else when it comes down to training, man. Like intensity will get you there and consistency with it. So you said you started at 11. At what point did you realize that you had a knack for it?
I didn't really like understand. I'm always very technical and analytical. So I started doing, before I even know what I was doing, I would do like, let's say bicep curls, a preacher curl with like, on the preacher with like a 10-second eccentric, because I was like, oh my God, dude, I feel like my arms are gonna fucking explode. They're burned so bad. I didn't understand the science behind it. I didn't even know what an eccentric was versus a concentric. But I kind of knew from a young age how to really connect my muscle. And I think most of what I've learned is self-taught, because I'm so acutely feeling like how much stimulus I'm driving with each exercise. And I'm like, oh, this variant's actually a little better than this one, even though I thought that was like the best. Now I found this one, I like it even more. So I think that's kind of what led me to be so interested in this, is because I just use the gym as like as a way to like be creative too.
Yeah, nice.
How about you? How do you know like, oh shit, like I got some crazy potential?
To be honest, in terms of knowing that I had something special in terms of like how it was making my physique look, that came later. But initially, I felt like I had something special in the actual feeling that training gave me, if that makes sense. I was like, I found something that is me, like this feels amazing, this is gonna be my thing. It was only later on, after maybe a year or two, and being told by other people that this act that I've found that I really enjoy is making me build this good physique. But other than that, it was the training that I fell in love with. And then years down the line, like I remember my brother's friend came around one day, because I trained at home for like 5-6 years. And then he came around, saw me just doing my session. He said, have you seen your brother? My older brother, he's telling me, he said, have you seen your brother? Like, and I was like, oh, is there something to see? I look in the mirror and I'm like, oh shit, this training that I've been doing at home, just enjoying myself, not with any goal of becoming a bodybuilder or anything, is really building this physique. And that gave me even more of a boost, you know? So I think around, I would say it was that moment, because that's the one I always reference. My brother's friend coming and saying, have you seen yourself? And I was like, before that, I didn't take any notice. I'm just training, I'm enjoying it. So, yeah, man.
I was gonna ask you later, and I'm somebody that defends you pretty fervently, but I know you get the natural or not things. Does it bother you at this point, or are you just kind of like, it is what it is?
It doesn't bother me, but it's still a little frustrating, but not as much as it used to be. I'm way past caring, and I had different ideas about it. So initially, when it was said, I was very angry and disappointed, because my whole, one of my goals when putting stuff out was, I'm gonna share this amazing thing that I've done without taking anything. And I thought people were gonna latch onto that and be like, oh, is this possible? So that was my boost. And then the reaction was just
the opposite.
It was bad. And I was naive as well. So when I say I was naive, I mean like competitions. So I never got into bodybuilding to compete. Like I said to you, it was just an enjoyment thing. But then over the years, I decided to do a competition. I went to a federation that is natural, or says they're natural. And to be frank, they try. They do try, we are tested, everything. But I remember after a couple shows, there was a guy specifically that had come 7th before. Me and him had become friends. And then the next year round, he came first. I was over the moon for him. I was like, you killed it. His trainer came up to me later on and he's giving me the nudge, wink, wink, I can help you out. I'm like, I don't get it, what do you mean? When I realized that, I was like, okay, this is just ridiculous. This isn't what I thought it was. So I left bodybuilding, and that was one of the reasons. It was like, I never really cared for the competing side, but it is fun, and I enjoy it. And if I can go against my peers, and we're all doing this on the same level, then I'm happy to come wherever. I really don't care. But if we're not, then I don't want to do it. Yeah. So there was a disappointment, and I was naive. Now you said, does it affect me? Not really. It is a little frustrating if someone, like you've just brought it up, but you brought it up in a, I'm interested to hear your perspective way. Yeah. I'm cool with that. I just don't like it when it's just for clicks. But I've come to an understanding that that's just the industry that we're in now. People need the clicks and people need the eyes on things, and certain subjects bring that. And I understand that. But yeah, no, so in terms of if like a random guy was to say, hey, look, man, I just want to know because I'm starting out, is it possible? I'll talk all day. Yeah. But when it's, I want to get this shot. Yeah. That frustrates me. But,
yeah. No, I mean, and I can be honest, like when people come up to me and ask me about you, I'll tell them straight up, like, I think it's 100% possible based on like, obviously, just like probably some of the best genetics in the world. And also your work ethic.
See, and this is like, when you say that, and then I say that I've seen a lot of people that, obviously not the same physique, because everyone's shape is different. My physique looks a bit nuts because I've got long arms and long limbs, so it's going to look a bit nuts. I've got short torso. Yeah. But when I say I've seen so many natural guys build considerable muscle with just consistency, there's plenty. There's plenty. But, and when I say that, people say, so he's trying to say he doesn't even have good genetics. No, I'm not saying that at all. My genetics give me my frame, and my frame is a bit odd. Yeah. So when I put muscle on this odd frame of a short torso, arms that touch my knees, it looks a certain way. But I do know that it is possible to build considerable amount of muscle naturally.
Because it's the way it inserts, right? Like if you have a very small waist structure, and then you've got wide
like shoulders. When I started, I was skinny and ripped. Yeah. And I just put muscle on that frame.
Muscle on that,
yeah. You know?
So I think that's the key is like people don't really understand like what. Like everybody, like you, somebody with your height, with the exact same amount of muscle, like to the gram, with different structure in you, it's going to look completely different.
It's going to look different. There's so many variables as well, because me saying that is absolutely not saying that my genetics haven't come into play. But then, are we discounting the 20 plus years as well?
No, and when I speak to genetics, I'm not saying your ability to build muscle. I'm saying the way the muscle lays on the frame.
No, I'm on the same page. I'm just trying to let the viewers know. You know, that, you know, there's also other variables like the length of training, the consistency, the intensity that you've been training. You know, there's so much. How you actually train. Like, your style of training, from what I've done so far, I feel it is a big factor to how you've built this massive physique. I think it's a contributing factor because
100%.
I even feel that if I adopted this style now, as a change from what I usually do, there'll be something new would happen, you know? But then again, I say to everyone, it is always going to be each to their own. It's got to be what you enjoy. Yep. It's got to be what you can keep up, you know? So
that's why I always tell people, like, I hope that if we train together, you take 10% of what we do and kind of start implementing it. Maybe 2 sets a day, you train more like this, and that would be such a reward for me.
So you mentioned that you're prepping for a show. How many have you done? What's your goal with it? When did you get into it?
Yeah, so I didn't really start taking it seriously until about 2 years ago. I was natural until I was about 27 and a half. Yeah. And before that, I was all just loving to work out. I mean, everybody back then even thought I was enhanced. Yeah. And then...
Wait, can we just pause on that? So when you were at that point, how much muscle had you built and how did you actually look?
I was about 200 pounds, like very lean. I can show you a photo.
Yeah, and you asked me the question. Let me ask you the question. So when you were at that point, did you get the comments and how did you feel about them?
I was upset. Yeah. Being younger as well and being like you, like I worked so fucking hard for this, fuck you. Yeah. Like, I definitely took it personally. Yeah. Because it's basically saying, oh, you didn't work for it. So to this day, I take so much less. I mean, I have a family. I can't be fucking around with like half the shit these guys are doing. Yeah. And people are like, oh, he's on this physique 4 grams a week. I'm like, 4 grams a week? Are you fucking out of your fucking mind?
Tired of generic fitness plans that never get you results? Say goodbye to the guesswork with my one-on-one coaching. It offers personalized strategies for maximum results and sustainability. Ready to elevate your physique? Fill out an application today. Link in the description.
So plant, hand here. See, I'm not here, which allows me to come in here, and then as I push, then I can push in this and lean, and then pull the shoulder up and back. So hand planted instead of the forearm. You see how your forearm? There you go. Yeah. So now it allows you to reach, then drive up, squeeze, good, and then rotate the body out this way. Almost lean out. and put this foot forward more so you get more space. Yes, that's it. That's fucking beautiful. Yeah, big stretch, open, drive. Good, foot forward, yes, big stretch. Pull the chest up, there it is. That's absolutely perfect. Don't just let it go though. Squeeze, now slow on the release. That's better. Big open. Last thing, pull the body out a little bit this way, towards me. Like lean out from the hips. There you go. Get more scapular retraction, expose the lat more. That's it.
That's what you see. This is what people don't flipping understand. Like, if you, okay, so say obviously you're who you are now, but if you weren't and you posted that as a new guy, you know what they'll say.
100%.
Which is, it doesn't make any sense. Show the camera, please. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. And it's just that it's really shit that no one believes. And the guys that would like to stay natural, there's no one they can look to. Like, because everyone's doubting them, everyone's saying that it's BS.
Yeah, it's tough.
But that physique there is fantastic. Yeah. And there's people out there that don't want to reach my size or your size. They can reach that with just the consistency and obviously, what was that, 10 years in already?
Oh, 10 years in, yeah.
It's not overnight. It's not going to be 1, 2 years,
I was
10 years.
I was like 13 years in.
10, 13 years is what it is,
I think
man.
it's impatience too.
Oh yeah. But you know what? I think things have changed as well now, because when I started, how old are you?
32.
Okay, so I'm 37. No. So when I started, there was this whole thing that we see here of the industry didn't exist.
Didn't exist.
I was doing it because this feels fantastic. Yeah. I love this. Now a kid will see me, you, other people think I can get money, I can get fame, I can get notoriety from lifting. So that is an incentive to get it now. I want it now. I want it all now. Whereas, you know, we didn't have that. It was just we're training because we friggin' love it.
Of course.
And I'm not saying that it's a bad thing, that what they can get from it. It's fantastic. Industry's booming, but it's creating that urgency. And what happens when it's urgency? I want it now in any way, shape or form. I'm going to do whatever I can to get it ASAP. So that's also leaning towards people wanting to do things that, you know, they don't need to do. But hey.
I think it's also like I'm glad I waited as long as I did, just because of the fact that I feel like I had a better head on my shoulder. I had more wherewithal to be like, okay, if I do this, I want to do it like very methodically. Okay. And so not to say like, don't go out and do it, but I'm saying if you were to, I would behoove you to wait until you've like exhausted, like obviously your genetic potential, not exhausted, but gotten close. And also you've gotten the other fundamentals down, your training consistency, obviously your training efficiency, your recovery, your nutrition, your sleep. Because if you're not doing any of those other things, like steroids are performance enhancement, they're not performance replacement. So like you're gonna get the negative health like aspects without any of like the physique benefits. You'll probably just look bloated and like garbage.
And just so they know, because people always ask me this, and I don't actually have any figures for when from way back when. I only have my figures pretty much in the last 10 years, which haven't really changed. But just so they know, what weight were you there? How tall are you?
6'1", about mid 190s.
Just so they know, because they literally, what's your weight? What was your this? What was your this? How old were you? Yeah. And for me, I never really, we're talking before even the camera phones were coming in.
Because you're about 6'3", right? 6'4"?
I'm 6'1". People always get I think it's because I'm slim, so they think, oh yeah, he's 6'2". I'm 6'1", same height as you, man.
Oh yeah, we are.
Yeah.
We are pretty much
6'1".
I just think he's like, I just see him. I always see him as being
I've had people that are 6'2", say, what, 6'2", 6'3"? I'm like, I'm shorter than you. Like,
I think it's the arm length.
It's the long arms and long legs. Yeah.
How'd you like this variant, by the way?
I'm loving it, man.
Good.
I'm loving it.
So that's the only thing, is you were kind of more here, just fucking shift out. Yep. Just very slightly. It's not out here. It's just from here to here. Yeah. Exposes that lat more. Yeah. It gives you more clearance here, because you were kind of running into the bench at the front.
Yeah.
If you shift out, you remove that issue.
So if I'm all the way straight, this is where I am.
You're like lying backwards, taking a nap. So basically what he's explaining is he doesn't want to over lean, because what it's going to do is actually take the emphasis. See how he's got such a nice, beautiful peak contraction? If you over lean, what's going to happen is it's going to go up into the trap, into the rear delt, and turn it more of like an upright row. So we want to keep it nice and upright, keep the elbow nice and down. So this one obviously a little lighter than we do a normal like pull down, because it's almost like a pull over, pull through / pull down. kind of a hybrid. So overhand on this one, instead of being supinated, we'll be slightly pronated. Kind of push the hips into the bench. Big stretch to the top. And pull nice and low.
Yeah, that looks great right here.
And almost lean back just a little more on the pull. And pull in front of you. There it is. Really, really perfect form. Nice. Big lean. That's really fucking good. Give me two more good reps, two more good reps. You got it in you. Two more. Pull. Yeah, way to pull those shoulders down. That's perfect. Woo! Let's go, 3 more. Big pull. Nice. 2 more. Big back. Come on, drive. Yep. 1 more. I got you. 1 more. Big squeeze. Squeeze. Slow. And out. So what we're gonna do here, finish out with the chest supported row. I like something, if you guys don't have something like this, it's not a necessity, but I do like a chest supported row in the sense of it does take the pressure off the lower back, but you still get a lot of work through the spinal erectors, mid back, and we're gonna really focus on a huge stretch on these, and we're gonna try to keep the chest connected to the pad as much as possible, so we're not gonna try to lift all the way off, and just try to get as big a peak contraction at the top of the rep as possible. This Arsenal row feels like 20 times heavier than any other row I've used, so we're not gonna go super heavy with this. But you see, I turtle shell it, get as much stretch as I possibly can, then dig up as high as I can without lifting the chest off the pad. Nice. So this is more stretch bias for me than contraction bias. Big stretch. Nice. Those look perfect. No lower back pressure. Yep.
Hey.
Yep. So jury's out. Simeon Panda trains hard as fuck. Let's go. I love that. All right, that was such a dope session.
Yes,
Simeon
indeed.
absolutely killed that.
Appreciate you.
It was fun to hear him say like he doesn't really open up his workouts to people, so I really appreciate you being open-minded, and you did such a terrific job.
Definitely.
But I guess what are some of your major takeaways from the workout? Like, what did you enjoy?
Thoroughly enjoyed the fact that we got straight to the pump right from the beginning. I'd say maybe second set in, I already felt that pump that I would normally get coming up to halfway through my workout. You know, so I really enjoyed that. And the thing is, normally I would say to people that you do want to warm up slowly and get to a certain weight, and that is the reason why you'll build up. But the fact that you're doing it at a slow tempo means you are mitigating injury because you're feeling right through the range, if that makes sense. Yeah. So it's not a case of you're going heavy and you're just pulling and risking an injury. Because we're so methodical with our form, you're not going to get injured even though we went straight in with a heavy weight. Yeah. So yeah, I appreciate that. That was good. That's good.
Yeah, so I mean, amazing workout. I was really appreciative of everything you've done for the industry.
Appreciate it.
You brought a lot of amazing things to light. Talked about obviously what you can do naturally. This is the epitome of hard work.
Appreciate you, man.
Simeon doesn't take weeks off, months off, years off. This is 20 years of consistent training. This isn't just I decided to lift some weights here and there. This is methodical, just hard work. So
appreciate you, man.
Just know this is probably close to max enhanced potential. This is close to max natural potential. So you got the best of both worlds in the video. So I appreciate you guys. Hope you guys got a lot from the video, and I will catch you on the next one.
And the next one will be at my house?
Hell yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I'll let him run me through a workout.
Yeah, let's go.